If it's meant to be, then it will. God willing. God willing. Sky's the limit, and I'm busting out the ceiling. Hey, starting to get to the point where I don't catch feeling. Nah. Just counting these millions. I need 100 to show. If you can't pay, it's a no. I will never sell my soul. Truth, Lord knows. All I need is good vibes, so I don't trust these hoes. I've been lost my bros. That's just how the game goes. Came a long way, get it straight. They want the food on my plate. They don't want to see me strive. I want to be a city place. All I need is good vibes, and everything will be great. But they rather to lie.
What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, GRANxJEFE. Get ready for another episode of Unpopular Opinion. Today is a good day. We got special guest Tuesday. I got a guest on with me today, as promised yesterday on the show. He's been on the show before. Good friend. Hatch, how you doing, man?
All right, how's it going, brother?
All right. Hey, how that weather is down there in old Alabama? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How that weather is down there in Alabama?
It's cold, man. It's cold.
It's cold.
Yes.
Yeah, hey man, I was sitting up here last night watching the Monday night game, and I was like, man, my knee hurting. It must gonna get cold today. I woke up this morning, man. It was cold. It's starting to get cold out here in El Paso too. So, shoot.
Yeah, it's this cold weather is something serious.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and hop into the show. Monday night game last night, the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans. Titans won that game. They've been a hot streak as of late. You know, lost their first three. Since then, they have hit on 9 straight, moving up to 9-3. 8-3. So, what you think of Deshaun Watson? Is he what you saw in college?
Oh yeah. He is what I saw in college. Actually, I said that last season. You know, when the Texans played New England, and you know that was his. Everybody saw what he can do at college, but then you know people question what could he do in the pros, and so when they played New England before he got hurt, you know that was his coming out party to show the world that, hey, you know, I did it in college and I can do it on this level too.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And then, you know, they have the DeAndre Hopkins, who I think is a top 3 wide receiver. You know what? Why I got you on the show? I'm gonna talk to you about that. I think DeAndre Hopkins is a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. They did get him Demaryius Thomas in the trade from Denver a few weeks ago, so it seemed like everything is clicking. Lamar Miller, he had a breakout game last night, had a 97-yard touchdown. But on a quick note, before we get on to your Crimson Tide here, I got Julio Jones sitting right outside at 4 in the best wide receivers in football. I got Odell at number 1, Antonio Brown number 2, DeAndre Hopkins 3, Julio Jones 4.
Yeah. Well,
I just don't think Julio makes enough big plays. Like he catches a lot of balls, he gets a lot of yards. But you know, they showed a stat last week. On Thanksgiving, Thursday night when they played the Saints, that he's only been targeted in the red zone 6 times all year. That's crazy.
I mean, he been targeted 6 times in the red zone. But if you look at it though, I mean, you had Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones. It was a couple years ago. It was Julio Jones and Calvin Johnson. Now, you know, Calvin Johnson that left the game. So now, it's, you know, Julio Jones is on that medal. And you can't blame teams for doubling up on him. So, but then.
Yeah, now I get it. They you know, they double him a lot. It's just for me, I just think he's not in the game in big moments. You know, they showed a stat last night with DeAndre Hopkins that he's been in the game for 99.5% of the snaps, which is the most by any receiver in the last 10 years. Just give me those kind of guys. For me, I just don't think Julio have that dog in him. I think he's too mild-mannered.
Julio always had that dog in him, man. But you got to look at shit, man. Look at the offensive coordinator, man. Hey, how many plays are designed to go to Julio Jones? It was what 8 games into the season, 7 games in the season before he got his first touchdown. But you had the rookie Calvin Ridley coming in.
He called 3 in one game at one point.
Yeah. So they all they did was they just added some players around him, and okay, they slept on him. Okay, this kid ain't gonna do nothing, so we're just gonna double up on Julio Jones. All you did was double up on him, but it's not their fault. I blame the offense coordinator then too. I'm blaming the quarterback. I'm like, come on now, go to your playmaker. Julio Jones is your playmaker. That's just like in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was killing him in the Super Bowl. Like, could nobody guard him?
So why stop throwing it to him? I mean, shoot,
yep. I said the same thing. I said now that I'm with you on that point, and that was Kyle Shanahan. But I said it. I said Julio has been killing them all game. Can't nobody guard him. Can't nobody guard. And they went away from him. I always say I think sometimes these offensive coordinators, they try to outthink themselves. Instead of just doing whatever works. If it works, you keep doing it. Like that's how it works. But some of these guys will never learn.
It ain't even that, really. Honestly, it's all about pleasing the other. It's all about pleasing the other guy. And the first thing somebody gonna say, why bring me in here? Why bring me here if you're not gonna, let me be productive? So they try to please everybody.
Yeah, I don't really understand that. But moving on to some to the amateur parts of things. Your Crimson Tide is looking like the best team. They've been the best team all year. I predicted that after the very first game. I knew that this team. Who can beat them? If anybody,
they can. I'm not gonna say they can't be beat because they was the best team last year. They got beat. They was the best team the year before. They got beat. They was the best team the year. Alabama been the best team for the past couple years, and somewhere along the line they always fall. So they can be beat. It's just a matter of when. Now,
well, do you see them being beat this year? SEC championship game got Georgia. Who you got in that game?
I'm an Alabama fan, and do I foresee Alabama winning? No.
You think Georgia is better than Alabama?
I'm not gonna say Georgia's better than Alabama, but it's gonna come down to who wanted more. And I think
that game is in Atlanta, right?
That game is in Atlanta, and I think Georgia, the only
the boys gonna have the Migos out there.
Yeah, I mean, so they, Georgia wanted more. Georgia's hungrier for it. So I'm
gonna have to stop you. Listen, I don't think anybody can beat Alabama. The only team that's gonna beat Alabama is if Tua gets hurt. If Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide, then I think they are very beatable by a few teams. I think Clemson would be able to beat them then. I think Ohio State could have a shot. I think Georgia would definitely have a shot. But with Tua Tagovailoa, this guy is clutch. This guy is on the money. This guy is smart. He can throw it. He's everything you need in a quarterback. And he's that one piece that Alabama has been missing for years when they had A.J. Karen or Blake Sims or Greg McElroy. He's all of them wrapped into one quarterback.
He everything that they've been needing. But like I've been telling everybody here in Alabama, Tua need to get in that weight room. He can't take no hit. Jalen get in the weight room. Jalen can take it. And you go back.
Jalen's a big body guy, though. Jalen is.
Go back and look at when Alabama played Clemson in the national championship game. They say it's Jalen's fault that Alabama lost. No, it ain't Jalen's fault that Alabama lost. Jalen did what he had to do. Jalen scored, whether he used his arms or his legs, but he put them up to win the game. The defense let Alabama down. So if Alabama loses to Georgia, it'll be because of a letdown, whether it be offensive or defensive.
That was a pretty good game, that national championship. You get Tua coming down. I think he scores on like a 19 or 20-some yard run. And then you got You got Deshaun Watson coming back down,
Yeah.
getting that goal line touchdown. That was a good game. But I will say this. I think Alabama was put in a position to lose because they had Jalen Hurts. When you're so limited throwing the football,
they got put in the position. Who lets their offensive coordinator? Who does that? Then you gonna bring in the alcoholic. The dude probably was drunk on the offensive line, calling them plays, sending them plays in. So, that's I put that on Nick Saban only because you started with this offensive coordinator. You let him finish it. Shit, he let Jeremy Pruitt finish it when he took the job. He could have did the same with Lane Kiffin.
I think him and Lane's relationship was a little bit too toxic. I think that's what it was.
This is my prediction. See,
but it was stupid to let him go, though.
Yeah. Everybody been talking about Jalen Hurts and all this stuff, and nobody wants to admit that this guy, he got him a decent quarterback coach, somebody that taught him the fundamentals. So if you look at the game, go back to the Auburn game, the first play, look at his read. He's improved drastically. So if Tua get hurt, why panic with Jalen Hurts? Because he could do it with his legs. Now you know for a fact he can do it with his arms.
Well, see, there's no panic if you go to Jalen Hurts. I mean, you got a guy who's won 26 games or something like that. He's 26-2. Yeah, I mean, so there's no panic there, but there's not a sense of like for the defense. If I'm a defensive coordinator and you ask me, would you rather face Tua or would you rather face Jalen Hurts? I'm going to say Tua because Jalen Hurts is so limited in throwing the ball. He may be an improved passer, but he's still not a consistent thrower of the football like Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa puts it there.
I would tell everybody, eat your words, man. And everybody's like, oh, well, he's going to, okay, yeah, he graduates this year. He'll have another year eligibility to play elsewhere. Now, everybody going to be eating their words if he go to somewhere, if he stay within the SEC or he go outside the SEC.
But I want him to come to my team. I would want a Jalen Hurts. I just don't think that, and I would still say then that he's not a good thrower of the football. But that kind of stuff works in college because you're better than everybody else. Look at Lamar Jackson. He did all that. Go ahead.
You got to look at it too. Jalen Hurts came in as a freshman. Lane Kiffin was that man. He done went through since he been there. The 3 years he been there, he done went through 3 different offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
The last person,
Lane, Sarkisian, and Loxley, right?
Lane, Sarkisian, Dabo, and all this. Well, yeah, 4 offensive coordinators. So this is what I tell people. The last person that I knew that went through that many offensive coordinators, it was the guy that played at Auburn, Jason Campbell. He was like he was going to transfer. He stayed there. He stayed loyal to that school. And what did he do? They went 13-0, but they didn't win the national championship. But Jason Campbell ended up coming to he was a journeyman in the NFL, but still, it speaks volumes for a person to endure what they go through in college and have that loyalty. Now, like I said, if Alabama lose, it'll be because of a letdown, whether it be offensively or defensively. If Tua get hurt, Jalen is gonna be a reverse. Okay, Tua came in, saved Alabama from Georgia in the national championship game. Jalen comes in and rescues Alabama in the SEC championship game. Now, what happened in the playoffs? It's up in the air because you got Notre Dame, they already locked in. I get them a lot. They locked in now. If Alabama play Notre Dame,
yeah. Let's go ahead and get to your college to your Final Four. Who 1 through 4? Who's in?
It's essentially say Alabama, Clemson win. You got your 1 and 2 seeds right there. If either one of those, if Alabama win,
Alabama is going to win. I think that's just a fan of you that you don't want to kind of jinx it. But there's no way you believe Georgia is actually going to beat Alabama. It could happen. Not saying that Georgia just got no chance, but you don't really think Georgia is going to beat Alabama. I don't believe that.
Like I said, I will know more come game day Saturday. Now we
So
already
who's
know
your
Notre
3 and
Dame.
4? So who's your 3 and 4 then?
I would give Notre Dame the number 3 seed. Now the number 4, it's gonna be it's gonna, like I said, a lot of shit will have to happen on Saturday. Now you got to pick between whoever the Big 12 champion. Well, if Oklahoma win, you got to pick between Oklahoma and per se Ohio State. I'm going to say Oklahoma. I'm going to
That's
say
my 4.
Oklahoma.
That's my 4. I got Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma. I think Georgia's going to lose. That's going to knock them out of contention.
On the flip side, now per se, now what if Alabama lose, Clemson lose, Oklahoma lose, and Ohio State lose? So then we got chaos now, and this is my cliffhanger. You got an undefeated UCF. They still got to play. Now if UCF win, I would put UCF in there just so so everybody can shut up and say, okay, let's see what this UCF team is really about. But keep in mind, their quarterback got hurt. So what can they do without their quarterback?
Yeah, the committee is not going to put UCF in. They're gonna do the thing where I don't think going forward they are the 4 best teams, and that's when they're going to change the narrative. I don't think they get in. I think Alabama gets in. Obviously, I think Clemson gets in. I don't think Pittsburgh is beating Clemson this week. I think Notre Dame gets in. Obviously, they're undefeated. Their season is over with. And I think Oklahoma gets in because Oklahoma, as we're going to get to our picks later, I believe, Oklahoma will take care of business there. And I think Georgia's going to be on the out because I don't think they're going to beat Alabama. I don't foresee them beating Alabama.
Nah.
And then you got Ohio State, who's going to win, and but they're too far back because they haven't been impressive this year. So they've been stuck at 10, and now they get their big win, and it doesn't matter now.
I mean, they did put up 62 points on a good Michigan team that,
It's actually, but it's too late, though. It's too late now. It's too late to do that because for 5 straight weeks, you played mediocre. Struggled against Nebraska. You lost to Purdue. Struggled against Michigan State. Struggled against against Oklahoma State last week, the week prior. So for me, I think they was already on the outs because for 3 or 4 straight weeks, they were sitting at number 4. I mean, they were sitting at number 10. So I think Ohio State gets left out. So with that being said, then since we're right here in doing some college football, let's pick some conference championship game.
Conference championship game. Okay, now
we're gonna start off since we already did the ACC. I mean, since we already did the SEC, let's jump to the ACC. Clemson and Pittsburgh. You know what? Hold on. You know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start on Friday night. Pac-12 championship game. Friday night. Utah and Washington against Washington.
I'm gonna go with the underdog, Washington.
Yeah, I got Washington as well. I think that win over Washington State this past Saturday gives them the edge there. They're the better team, so they should win. Just haven't been playing like it this year. Moving on to the Saturday games, the Big 12 championship game, Texas and Oklahoma, the rematch. Earlier in the year, Texas beat Oklahoma on the last-second field goal, but that game was in Austin. For the Red River rivalry, who you got winning this time?
I'm again, like I said, I'm gonna go with underdog only because, hey, Texas is playing with some heart now.
That's a pretty good football team. Ty Herman has a really good football team there.
Yeah, and he's the offensive mind. So I'm gonna go with this. Will be the second. Was this the second time that Texas and Oklahoma?
Yeah, they played earlier in the year.
Now in the conference championship game, years ago they had Nebraska, when they first played in the Big 12 championship game, Nebraska and Texas, they picked Nebraska to beat Texas. Texas beat them. So I'm gonna go with Texas again, only because they're the heavy underdog. Oklahoma is the favorite. I'm going with Texas to beat Oklahoma.
Now, Oklahoma in the college football playoffs if you got them losing. I don't think Oklahoma is losing this game. It's hard to beat somebody twice. And Texas already beat Oklahoma this year. It's going to be hard to beat them again. I think Oklahoma comes away with the Big 12 championship. I think they also get in the playoffs. Now, the AAC, Memphis against UCF. Who you got there?
Now, keep in mind, I would say UCF win this game. You know, because Memphis is, I haven't really paid attention to them. Memphis is just Memphis. So.
But yeah, Memphis has been not terrible this year. They're 8-4 record on the year, but I think UCF gets it done, completes the undefeated season again. I think they'll get the Peach Bowl again, probably against one of the SEC teams, but because they're getting at large. Go ahead.
All these big name teams, if they lose, you can't have. It would be really injustice if UCF go undefeated back-to-back seasons and you don't put them in the playoffs. That would be a big injustice. So that's why I said, if Oklahoma lose, Alabama lose,
two teams will have to lose in order for UCF to potentially get in there. And I still don't think that's enough because the wrong two teams are going to lose because that'll be Alabama losing, which means now the SEC champion Georgia is going to automatically get in at that point. They're still behind UCF. And then if let's say if you want to say Clemson lose, well, and Ohio State lose, yeah, that'll maybe slide that'll probably slide UCF up. But I still wouldn't be willing to trust that because they'll still be wanting to probably put a Florida team ahead of a UCF. The committee have little to no respect for UCF, which is the reason why they're still sitting at 8 right now.
Yeah, and which is the reason why this playoff system is going. This is what's going to lead the playoff to expand. You can't keep having these unbeaten teams and not letting them play for a championship.
Yeah, go ahead.
These small schools, even if they are a small school and they get to the championship or the playoff, whatever, they get blown out. Give them the opportunity to say, "Hey, we got there."
Yeah, I was having the same conversation with Matthew Lau, one of the co-hosts for RTL Sports that I do the YouTube show with. And I was telling him that I was like, you can't keep putting teams in there such as Alabama because he fully believes. And while I probably think that it'll probably happen according to the committee, I don't think that it's right. That if Alabama will lose this SEC championship game, that, like I said, that automatically will put Georgia in. He also thinks that Alabama will get in and they will leave Oklahoma out. And I'm like, you just can't keep doing that because you say, well, Alabama's got in before and they won it. Not giving anybody else a chance to do that. And I'm like, that's why there's a ranking system. If we're just going to pick the best 4 teams, then let's just throw out the rankings. So at the end of the day, the committee can't say, well, this team was ranked, or the fans can't say, oh, well, this team was ranked behind this team. So if we're going to just do it that way and just keep giving it to guys that's just been there before and not giving anybody else a chance. Now, UCF do have to start scheduling tougher opponents, because you can't have, Alabama, who I don't think has a tough non-conference schedule, but in conference play some good teams. They're not world beaters, but they're good teams inside the SEC. And you can't have UCF playing people like Rutgers or whoever else that they play. So they have to fix that. Moving on to the ACC championship game, Clemson against Pittsburgh. Who you got?
On paper and in reality, I'm gonna go with Clemson. But like I said, on any given Saturday, somebody can, anything can happen. So
No, I
hey,
don't.
20 years,
Hey, I
20
think
years
Clemson got
ago,
no chance of losing this game.
20 years ago, you had a undefeated Big 12 championship, Kansas State against Texas A&M, and Texas A&M shot Kansas State.
Yeah, that's true. I just don't. This Clemson team is nice. Trevor Lawrence has been slinging that thing. At the beginning of the season, I was mad when they turned from Kelly Bryant and went to
Kelly
Trevor
Bryant.
Lawrence, and not just because I thought that Trevor Lawrence wasn't better than Kelly Bryant. I already knew how good this kid was. Just for me, I thought Kelly Bryant didn't do anything to lose the job. He was undefeated, but so far the move has paid off for Dabo Swinney. And I think they get another ACC title in a down year for the ACC. They were clearly the best team all year. One of the 2 or 3 best teams in college football. So yeah, I think they'll get it done. Moving on to the last conference championship game that anybody really care about, the Big Ten, Ohio State,
Yeah.
Northwestern.
Ohio State, of course.
Yeah, I think Ohio State get it done. Dwayne Haskins finally had a game that I thought why he was the Heisman at the beginning of the year. Last week against Michigan, he saved his best performance for last, 5 touchdowns in that game, no interceptions. It just seemed like he had all the time in the world. Michigan wasn't putting any pressure on him. So
Right.
I think Ohio State gets that done. All right, for the final question that I got for you, who's your Heisman? Who's your Heisman and why?
Oh man, it's like it's a hard question, man. Everybody been on this tour boat, man. I'm like, I would say give it to him, but then Dwayne Haskins, hey, this kid, I wouldn't be surprised if they call his name instead of Tua.
No, he's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. He has underperformed. To me, I think it's a two-headed monster. Two-headed monster between Tua and Kyler Murray. It's either going to be Tua or Kyler Murray. That's it.
I'm not gonna give it to Kyler Murray because I'm like, what defense has he played against, man? Has he really played against a defense for real?
Yeah, but that could be the same as Ohio State, and Haskins haven't looked impressive. He started out hot maybe the first 3 or 4 games, and then after that he mellowed out, and then after the Penn State game he mellowed out, and then they lost, and then they've been struggling to Maryland and Nebraska and Michigan State and Oklahoma. These haven't been great teams that he struggled in. To me, I think it's a two-headed monster. I think it's either Tua or Kyler Murray. If I had a vote, my vote would go towards Kyler Murray just because of what he's done for that team. And Tua is going to get it. I think Tua is going to get it. That team is undefeated, so they're looking to give it to the undefeated guy or the guy who got his team to be undefeated, and he just happened to play for Alabama. So I think Tua is going to get it. And I wouldn't be mad if Tua got it because of the stats are there. Only 2 interceptions on the year. That's insane.
I mean, yeah, two interceptions on the year. I mean, Trent Dilfer called it, year before last when he had him at the camp saying that this kid gonna be phenomenal. I got it, but it's you got 3 good QBs out here in the country and everything. I hate that they had to do it like that, but Haskins got more yards. It's just,
he's just played bad at the wrong times, and Tua just been hot all year. I think he's only thrown like 4 or 5 passes in the fourth quarter of games this year. Like that's crazy. You're talking about a guy who's played a full season, hasn't missed 1 game, but has not thrown a pass in the fourth quarter of or only thrown 4 to 5 passes in the fourth quarter the whole season. That's ridiculous.
He hasn't had his Heisman moment yet. So I mean, his Heisman moment.
It's been all season. 36-2.
If he's gonna win a Heisman Trophy, his Heisman moment has to come against Georgia this Saturday, not January in the national championship game. He need to have his Heisman moment this Saturday.
Well, that's speaking like a true Alabama fan. Hey, but I appreciate you for coming on the show today. Make sure you guys tune into the Unpopular Opinion podcast tomorrow. Also follow the Unpopular Opinion podcast on Facebook at Unpopular Opinion 2018, on Twitter at Unpopular 2018, and on Instagram at Unpopular_Opinion 2018. Thank you guys for your continued support. See you guys tomorrow. RTF Sports. I'm in on Unpopular Opinion.
If it's meant to be, then it will. God willing. God willing. Sky's the limit, and I'm busting up the ceiling. Starting to get to the point where I don't catch feeling. Nah.